Welcome everyone to Companion Species. I'm Mindy Besaw, Curator of American Art at Crystal Bridges.
And I'm Ashley Holland, Assistant Curator with Art Bridges.
Today we're going to take you on a journey through the exhibition, both here at Crystal Bridges as well as at the Museum of Native American Art.
Companion Species is an exhibition that spans time, culture, and medium. It involves native and non-native artists. The first works that you see are a 400-year-old Mississippian effigy vessel, as well as a work by contemporary artist Bob Houseus, which was made in 2000.
Marie Watt's Companion Species textile was one of the main inspirations for our exhibition. This object was made through the willing hands of community members, in fact, here in Northwest Arkansas and Eastern Oklahoma, and then in Marie's hometown of Portland, Oregon, as well as in Hawaii. So community members came together and stitched these words on this red wool. It's one of the ways Marie builds community, acknowledges community, and starts to have us think about our relationships with others. In fact, what Marie also is encouraging is reciprocity and the ways that we think about our companion species, which are animals and also nature. And that through line is how we selected the artwork for the exhibition.
One important aspect of this exhibition is the collaboration with Museum of Native American History. Here we have a Zia pot from the early 20th century, paired with a contemporary sculpture by artist Laurel Roth Hope.
We've really had a lot of fun pairing different artists from different places and time periods together and seeing what can result from some of those conversations. In this pairing, Julie Buffalo Head is paired with, and she's a living artist, a Ponca artist who lives in Minneapolis, with William Holbrook Beard, School Rules. And Beard is an artist from the late 19th century. This is from the Crystal Bridges collection. In both of them and throughout the exhibition, storytelling is a key thread. And oftentimes what we see is the use of animals to even tell those stories. So we're leaning into the ways that artists are telling stories, in this case, either humans dressed as animals or animals dressed as humans, giving us this delightful sense in School Rules, almost these caricatures with that schoolmaster ready to punish or discern or correct his students. In Julie Buffalo Head's work, this is a story about Columbus arriving in North America. And she's also helping us kind of think about the long-term implications of that, but really in a fun and playful way. So much of the work in this exhibition has that fun and playful element to it.
This work by Rick Bartow is about the responsibility of raising a child. Bartow uses symbols through animals to talk about the different ways animals can represent caring for a child and giving yourselves up so that they may succeed. In the basket, you see Rick Bartow's daughter, Lily, as well as different animals such as the killdeer and the coyote and the eels. This work is a maquette for larger bronzes that were created by Rick, and one of the great features of it is that it includes names of different people that Rick interacted with when he was working with incarcerated males. Part of the reasoning behind the piece is that children that grow up with incarcerated parents are more likely to be incarcerated themselves, and Rick was really aware of the responsibility of trying to break that cycle.
This exhibition also gave us a chance to highlight some recent acquisitions of early 20th century Native American painting, mostly artists from the Southwest and Oklahoma. We purchased these from the collection of Bruce Hartman. These paintings as well reiterate some of our themes of the exhibition of a closeness and reciprocity with nature, with animals, and also a sense of community.
This cradleboard is by a Mohawk artist. The wonderful thing about cradleboards is that they serve two purposes. One is to protect the baby while they are out with their mother, and the second is to show the baby how much the mother and community love them. One thing to notice at the top is an animal that may represent the clan of the mother of this child.
Adana Care work, rhinos, this exceptional drawing, but how the animals, again, kind of tell stories, almost plead with us for conservation. Or the way that an artist such as Harry Fonseca is able to use an animal as his avatar to tell us some stories. So look closely and you can see Fonseca's coyote, which often appears in most of his works. The exhibition really has a rich variety that everyone can find something that will resonate with them. Now we're at the Museum of Native American History here in Bentonville. Our exhibition was organized in collaboration with the Museum of Native American History, not only in an exchange of objects, but importantly ideas, content creation. So now this is the continuation of that story of companion species. We are all related.
This is one of my favorite works that are a part of the MONAH exhibition, and it's titled, You Are a Bumblebee. One of the great things about it is it really leaves it open to the viewer to decide what that means. Are you the bumblebee looking out at a panda bear, or is the panda bear envisioning himself as a little small bee and thinking about a different world that he would live in?
This exhibition also gave us an opportunity to pull some great things out of storage that haven't yet been on view. So these two early works by Peter Rindisbacher, a Swiss artist who went to Canada and into the American West and really captured the energy and excitement of a plains buffalo hunt. Along with that, George DeForest brush, bringing objects and paintings like the Rindisbacher, like George DeForest brush, within this context of Native American objects and cultures, it helps us see them differently. It helps point to some of the myth making that these objects have contributed to our perceptions of Indigenous peoples. And here at MONAH, instead of only seeing a European view of Native peoples, we can see expression and objects and paintings and regalia that were made by Native people. The feathered dance fans are paired with a Kristen Clefel sculpture, again seeing how animals are not only subject matter for artists, but also their materials have been used, from quills of porcupines to feathers of birds. In one of the delightful pairings that maybe is a little unexpected, this great Joseph Stella painting centered around this big red flower, but look carefully at those birds alongside. Stella isn't necessarily thinking a lot about Native American regalia, headdresses, but when put in conversation, perhaps the birds sort of come to the foreground. And what about all those bright colors, the geometry of the painting, and seeing those connections to the geometric designs and patterns Native peoples have been putting on their beadwork, on their regalia for many generations.
Thanks for joining us on this tour of both exhibitions of companion species.
And we hope to see you again soon.